I offer my obeisances time and again unto my spiritual master, unto Shri Gaurachandra, Srimati Radhika, her associates in her eternal spiritual abode, Shri Vrindavan, and unto Shri Krishna, his devotees, and the devotees of his devotees. Welcome back for part 12 of Light Casts No Shadows, translated on the go from Armin Risi's essay from 2005. We've been starting in part 11 to discuss the grander theistic concepts of God realization, individual God realization, and we've come to the point to distinguish religiosity from esoterics and true spirituality. And there is a key section in the holy Sanskrit literature which is describing it as follows: those who have realized God as the absolute truth, tattva vidas tattvam, say that God, the non-dual reality, DAYaM, is realized in three aspects: Brahmeti, Paramadveti, Bhagavata iti Shaptyate. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shaptyate. That means Brahman, the all-pervading energy, is realized first. Then Paramatma, the immanent consciousness of God. And thirdly, Bhagavan, the transcendent, original, individual Godhead. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 2nd Chapter, 11th Verse. Sorry. The mystery of the simultaneous oneness and difference. Very important aspect to understand reality as it truly is. This concept is oftentimes deemed or understood as not spiritual for those who equate it or who see it as a contradiction to the principle of absolute unity. Because as individuals we are not only parts of the unity, but also different from every other individuals. To be an individual means that I am who I am. And that's why in esoterics, justly so, but often misunderstood way, is talked about an I am consciousness. How can one simultaneously speak of individuality and non-duality, distinction and unity? And in this stage, the mystery student is once more challenged in a fundamental way. And the teaching poetries of the Vedas, the Upanishads, which are often working with paradox argumentation, are asking here, if an individual is an eternal part of God, if you are, as an individual, an eternal part of God, and if God is also an individual, an undivided, undividable entity, how can you then be a part of that indivisible being? How can that undivisible, absolute individual, God, separate itself into innumerable parts? This question is no theological nitpicking, but it is the core question of all questions. It is said, who poses the right questions also finds the answer. So let us pose this question even more precisely. How can I be simultaneously individual and one with God? It's all about the simultaneous one and difference, oneness and difference. And from the material perspective, relative perspective, we would say one would exclude the other option. Either one is individual, and that means not one with God, or I am an individual because I am an individual, then I cannot be one with God. Or I am one with the Absolute, and then I am not any longer individual. So how can both be simultaneously possible? Consciousness is an absolute reality. Here it is about a question of consciousness. So let us refine the question again. In what state of consciousness am I simultaneously individual and one with God? And there is only one consciousness, and that is conscious being, in which it is possible. You all know the answer, and we often speak it without even being conscious of it. Which universal, absolute truths we are keeping in our mouths. The consciousness in which we are simultaneously one and individual is love. Love, therefore, is no illusion of duality, like the atheistic monists think, but the absolute reality. Then only in love are we one with God and can, in the light of unity, realize our true individuality and thus live our true individuality. That is also true for the interhuman relations of love. Two humans are one and individual. Of course, there is also the possibility of more romantic definitions of love, but also the philosophical definition has its value. two humans, they love each other, are one heart and one soul. Otherwise, one could not really speak of love. But if at the same time both of them are not fully respecting the individuality of the other, then it is not anymore love, but a claim of ownership and power, which we so often see. So we're still not at the end. We have discussed a lot in this part number 12, and I'm looking forward to meet you in part number 13 of Light Casts No Shadows. Thank you for tuning in, and please go ahead, join the discussion, and for the benefit of all, share if you care. May the Om Love be with you. Jai Radhe Shyam.